Hey guys, Tightrope here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Vaux Farmlands. Playing today, spawning on the right, we have Cash playing as the British forces, immediately going for advanced emplacements. Teaming up with him is Holy, playing as Soviet industry with Soviets. From the left-hand side, we have VHSmonster playing as OKW, immediately going for Grand Offensive, and Across the Pacific with Ostheer immediately going for Spearhead.
New machine gun crew ready and waiting.
In terms of rankings, so Patreon backer submitted game. Allies are around rank 3,200, I think. Range team. Axis are also in a range team, but this replay is a little bit over a month old, so don't have a ranking active with them currently. Across the Pacific is around 1,300 with Ostheer in 1v1s. So this is, Vaux Farmlands, definitely a map where you can consider going for like mechanized with OKW, I think, just because it's so big. Can really take advantage of the OKW light vehicles on it. And kind of by a similar token, maybe it makes it a little bit harder to protect the flak half track with an anti-tank gun because the map's so large. It's quite easy to get things out of position. The AT guns are a bit slower to rotate. So I think mechanized is a good choice on this map. But yeah, it looks like the Allies double teaming the north, so easy territory down the bottom. And I don't know if Across the Pacific has noticed that, but I think both the conscripts and the section had revealed themselves. Coming to this house, this is quite a weak building to jump inside. See, it's got like a blind spot from this angle, so it doesn't protect you at all. That one's probably like if you just got a camp, very hard to deal with. Or you can push up. This house is also okay. Massive house, by the way. Alright, it's going to be 3 squads into tick for VHSmonster. So far, not a lot of action. The Allies sticking to the north, digging in with some sandbags. Got the machine gun up there. But they are allowing the Axis to come down and sneak their munitions point. So here is the response. A weird build from Cash. 2 Vickers. Going for Royal Engineer after the tick. Jumping into the building, but Molotov's very early. Running in here with the Grenadiers. Does have some support arriving, and here comes the machine gun now as well. Good dodge by the Allies on that rifle nade. And the machine gun comes in at a bad angle here. Just cannot find the right approach to actually fire some shots. And the Fox Trinity is backpedaling, leaving the Grenadiers solo. And they're overstaying their welcome here. As soon as they're down to like 2 models low health, should have retreated. With the potential to lose them there. Oh, they get away. That was a that was closer than you want it to be. Definitely could have died. Fuel cache out the back as well, guarding the cutoff back there. So the Grenadiers have to change up their angle of approach. And they're doing exactly that. Very early fuel caches down. 3 greens, pretty standard build from Across the Pacific. It's got a bit of manpower floating at this stage. Already got the tier 2 tech down. Should have the 222 in the build. Should have maybe a mid bunker coming up back here as well. Bit inactive, but here we go. Squad's reinforcing. Can power build with everything, including the pyros. Oh, his teammate's got healing already. He's gone for battle group. Like a healing rush as well. So maybe could have even delayed healing if that was desirable. But yeah, this could also be a map where you consider double 222s because it's so big. And the double 222s could maybe punish this early fuel cache action. Come through and kill them before the allies have a response. We can see Holy doesn't have any tech up at all. Can't defend it, and Cash has gone for a Bofors, so you wouldn't expect... Oh, yeah, I missed this guy right. Wow, at the back here. So I wouldn't expect any AEC anytime soon. Could be an AT gun potentially. But Cash going for a Bofors and trying to clear off this tree line with the attack ground. Yeah, I would be driving right to this cache, personally. But making some inroads on the units behind sandbags. You have to be careful about retreating back through this area when you're this deep. Bit of a slow reaction as well. The machine gun just waltzes up here, starts firing. So this rifle nade city could probably have been a D crew, so clumped up on light cover like that, but Specific not really paying attention to that. And looks like maybe not reacting in time. Took an anti-tank grenade there. So, oh no. This is what I was worried about. Yeah. Like the Bofors, it did get nerfed quite a bit, but if you retreat like right next to it, right past it, kind of similar to the flak half track, it can absolutely ruin your squad still. What a half track throw. It's a decent response typically to the emplacement style of play.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Maybe looking to return fire.
Good news. The ability is ready for use.
Seems like the ISG is maybe not firing as often as it could be. Barrage off cooldown for quite some time. We've got the flames coming in, but we've got double engineers coming down as well. If you see your opponents going for oh wow, instant kill on that. For this many emplacements as well, you might want to consider even double mortar half tracks, because sometimes the incendiary scatter is a bit trash. I suppose double incendiary is what it takes. And of course you want to be using the technique where you start a barrage and then queue up attack ground afterwards, so once your unit stops barraging, it keeps firing. You can see that's maybe an issue for both the Axis players here. They do a barrage but then they forget about it. So they spend a lot of time with these weapons not firing and not killing. See the emplacement got very low. And here we go, this is good now across the Pacific, coming out the back. Clear off these caches, it's a very good idea. We do have a... oh, this is this supply truck actually. And now switching the focus over to this, but never actually killed the Bofors down here. So the Axis making some errors with their indirect fire, and now across the Pacific maybe not paying attention. Going to allow a couple anti-tank grenades in here, except Holy doesn't have any munis. Just gets munis now. But he's got Grenadiers arriving in support. I would still stick around to kill that fuel cache. Grenadiers need to be coming around the corner so they can fire at these conscripts as well. Playing up. Can be shot by the Bofors though, so shouldn't be relying on those too much. I suppose an incendiary kill this, or a Faust. And now I'm going to go for the cut-off. Seconds this supply truck coming in. I did see a looks earlier as well from VHSmonster. So, you know, the Walking Stug is typically not that good against emplacements, but once it gets that Vet 1 incendiary strike, that's when it really can light them up. Took out of the building, but didn't retreat. Now the MG's in some trouble. Ooh. Good cut off. And the machine gun goes down for VHSmonster. Again, the Allies, the Axis kind of splitting their indirect fire. The incendiary barrage coming down up here. But, you know, one incendiary, especially with the brace, and especially if the scat is bad, is just not enough to finish the job. So these emplacements are not going down. Brandy is eventually forced away here. 222's ready, and the Lux is completely idle. You can see it's been on the field for a long time, but it hasn't shot anything. 0 damage right now. Mortar half-track went down though. Did they just go down to return mortar fire? I don't see any... reason why it would have died. Oh, now the Fusiliers might have to retreat past these Beauforts again. Okay. Pacific replacing that lost mortar half-track. Oof, ISG gets decrewed twice. Can be an idea to move around after your barrages, and I wouldn't be trying to put my truck up here either. Because say you... Oh, 222 gets hit again, and we've got the Lux on the field now, but finally start doing some damage. Oops, don't have munis for another anti-tank grenade. This could be a wipe opportunity for the Lux. Should be able to wipe them here. Such a punishing retreat right next to your base, all this negative cover. And there we go, nice wipe there, conscripts down. Should be now trying to hunt down these ZIS supply trucks. You should, you know, see these sectors in yellow and be like, oh, there's ZIS around here somewhere, let's go kill it. I'll take an anti-tank grenade though. Quite slow getting the repairs done. Eyes were occupied. Can build a Strug in this situation as well. Outranges the Beaufort's pretty good attack ground tool. But wow, actually the actually very fast fuel. I guess because he went for triple ZIS trucks. Still managed to get out an S285 at this timing in spite of the cut-offs. Definitely the Axis could have been cutting off more. But you can see the ZIS trucks. I believe they do have some kind of like cut-off protection. And that's... otherwise you'd see these sectors flashing, but they're not at the moment. Yeah, across the Pacific again, paying attention to the mortar, takes a heavy counter barrage from the enemy mortars and loses his own mortar half-track in return. So that's rough, and it's going to be a Panzer IV. I think I would still favour the Stug in this situation, but still very early on in the command points as well. Hasn't been that much action. You can see the Allies are actually quite far ahead in command points, which is interesting. But, you know, Tiger is a very distant thought at this stage. Comes the SU-85 looking for the 222. Never recovered that machine gun, by the way. SU-85 misses. A very slow reaction for across the Pacific. If that first shot hadn't have missed. Yeah, this is too slow. I don't know if across the Pacific is playing like without sound or something. Could be the case, but that was just a very, very slow reaction. Oh, gets stuck on the VP flag. Oh, the capture flag, and the Lux unable to escape from the Piets. Heartbreaker. And what were these Fusiliers doing that far forwards? Oh, this is not looking good all of a sudden for the Axis. A couple careless losses. And they're in some trouble. Really came down to that, you know, that first Bofors here got down to, you know, maybe 10% health, but then Across the Pacific switched the attack over to this other Bofors. Finished it off. Now driving right in to the clutches of that S-35. VHSmonster hasn't got STGs on the squad for some reason. Will make it actually quite hard to beat these conscripts since they have the vet advantage. And the 7-man actually as well. And the LEIG finally gets destroyed to the counter mortar barrages. Fourth is this up, by the way, and now a 17-pounder.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement.
You have to be careful. The 17 pounds quite far back, but it does have quite good range, so trying to barrage that sometimes with mortar half-tracks can backfire since it can return fire sometimes. And S-35 just driving right up to the mortar half-track with the focus sight on. This time though, Across the Pacific does get away and has invested into the second mortar half-track. Does definitely need an anti-tank gun to contain the S-35. As soon as you saw S-35, no, you're going to need an anti-tank gun in return. But I think if I was the Axis, I'd be trying to fight for more this angle, just trying to knock out this rather than trying to come all the way up here and kill these ones. And the good thing about is barraging this area with the flame mortars, if you kind of have bad scatter, it's probably going to scatter and do some damage to the mortar pits a little bit further back. Half-track takes another shot, has to back away. Some damage though, the pilots had to back out, but they do have an assembly back here to reinforce from. And there's nothing to stop the S-35 at the moment. No anti-tank guns. Oh, but here comes one from Across the Pacific, that's good. Got a Rakit in the center at the moment for VHSmonster, but it's mobilizing now. But we've got a KV-8 coming in. Doesn't have any defenses against the Panzer IV at the moment. Needs to switch over to the 45mm rounds. And it's going to do that now. Switches over to the old P shooter. Got to be careful though. At point blank, the KV-8 does actually have quite good penetration. But its penetration drops off sharply in mid-range. So you don't want to be too close to it if possible. An engine crit. Here comes the Panther though. Panther should be able to clean this up pretty good. Got to come down to positioning of these team weapons. Got the Rakit nearby. If that came in from this angle, should be very successful against the S-35. Switches back over to the flamethrower. The Panther's there now as well. KV-8's going to back off. Allies, they've dug in well up in the north, but haven't really left themselves much to actually contest the center with, so the Axis maybe could consider just ignoring these emplacements up in the north and just holding on to these two VPs for the win. Second pyro from Across the Pacific, that's good with the amount of repairs. It's a good idea. I'm not sure about the 4th Grenadier, whenever that got built. Didn't seem like a high priority. Can't really do too much this game. And that's a very fast decoy from the flamer, lining up the mortar. Double mortar pits getting to work there. Now some repair stations coming in out the back. Panther's just idle, not really up to anything during all this. I know there's an SU-85 nearby, but need to be probing. And oh no, here comes the Bofors into the center as well. This is starting to look not so good for the Axis, just continuously falling further and further behind. I think it's largely just because so many of these Axis units are sitting around idle so much. One more shot, maybe. Yep, there we go. KV-8 goes down nicely. The Beauforts, they're actually blocking the retreat of the KV. And now we've got a 17 pounder up in the center. And that's pretty bad. Now they are going to have a stranglehold, but this is where the Axis should be focusing their attention now, quite far away from any reinforcements. Oh boy, but this 17 pounder spins around. The Panther's in some big trouble. I think he is fine because the Allies lost vision. There's a 4 coming in now. Oh, that was that Holy recon plane earlier? I thought that was across the Pacific, so I might have got that confused. No, I'm pretty sure it's getting shot at by the Beauforts. Okay, the double mortar half tracks are repaired, but they're out back idle. The tanks coming back here for more repairs. And there we go, the double heavy mortar strikes just blasting the ISG out the back. The ISG is just not that good of an answer anymore since they can get killed off so quickly. Maybe the walking Stuka would be a better choice. Just have to get it vetted up first. But you know, plenty of resources, and it's not like VHSmonster really needs another tank right now. The Panther can contest whatever the Allies are fielding. With whatever remains of their pop cap. But downtime's going to be very low for the Allies whenever it comes to tank fighting with all these repair stations, and now it's starting to branch out down to the bottom as well. There's no defences you can see across the Pacific. Trying to make headway up here.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement.
And should still be using these incendiary barrages. And the Grenadiers just getting annihilated by the mortar pit. Recon plane up. You see they're just out of 17 pounder range at this stage. And here comes a bombing strike across the Pacific. Has noticed it though.
An emplacement is being attacked.
Oh, everything survives. No, I spoke too soon. There are 2 more shells on the tail end of that. Engine crit from that artillery, by the way. It's the old USS mechanized artillery. I think this is still the same one that's on... what's that? On the WC-51. It's the same artillery, I think. I thought it gave temporary engine crits, but I guess it's permanent. Half-tracks out the back, not doing anything. The Grenadiers getting wiped. Panzer 4 rolling up here, but there's an S-35. I thought he had vision of it with his Grenadier. Just sitting here. And a lot of damage. And now the 17 pounders facing this direction as well, so the Panther rolls up, misses its shot, gets battered. Luckily gets out of there before that 17 pounder gets another shot in. Otherwise it would have died. Oh, but the Panzer IV staying on the front lines gets spotted by the S-35 on focus side and dies. So yeah, at the moment, I think across the Pacific maybe try to save for the Tiger. It's the battle phase tech for it though. It's just the amount of downtime on these units is just so high. You know, these mortars dodged the artillery, but then drove back here, haven't been repaired, haven't done anything. Now the pits are getting aggressive. Second Panzer IV for VHSmonster, but I'm not entirely sure what the point is of this Panther. I suppose it's a fresh KV-8 and it's going to give it a point. Now the Soviets rolling down to the bottom. But yeah, at the moment I'd say VHSmonster, Walking Stuka, a good choice. Try to vet it up, get the flame barrage. Should be able to knock these emplacements out pretty fast, honestly. Across the Pacific needs to just be using these mortar barrages, incendiary barrages, like every single time they're off cooldown basically. He's got 400 munis almost. Could be absolutely torching them, but they're just so much downtime on these. You know, maybe queue up a move command after you do the barrage. So start the incendiary barrage, queue up a right click move so that you are then not losing these after to the return mortar fire. If you can't react to it in time, just predict and then queue things up with shift. The frag bombs as well, they're not very good against emplacements if they brace through them, but can be very effective against these assemblies which don't have brace, or if you know the engineers happen to be repairing. So here we go. Flame barrage, one of them, and then getting out of there. We're catching those, getting caught in the crossfire. We do have the second mortar half track now, could come in with its barrage just as the Bofors is about to come off cooldown. If you can synchronize things like that. Now we've got these double Panthers. What are they doing? There's action down the bottom, but where are these Panthers? There's just all these AFK units right now for the Axis. And now the Grenadiers getting roasted. Still have bad retreat paths because nothing cleared off this fence. What is the Panther doing here? Should be fighting down the bottom. Double Panthers could just annihilate this position. Have to be used in coordination though. Can't be seeing them in one at a time. Again, the mortar half tracks, everything's off cooldown, everything's ready to fire. Gonna start auto firing at these conscripts. Comes the KV now. Panthers just out of range of the 17-pounder here. Start shooting at the squad inside the building, which VHSmonster does not react to at all. Now Panther going solo down the bottom. Luckily the C45 is coming through the centre for this Panther instead. It's going to start getting blasted now. This Panther not chasing the KV. Oh, what is this? That was a dead KV. This other Panther's just getting hammered in the meantime from the side. There goes the pack from across the Pacific. It's the resources for the Tiger now. Oh, where was the Faust? What? That was Faust City. He was on focus sight mode, couldn't dodge away fast enough. Faust and then this Panther could have come and cleaned it up easily. Huge error there. Don't know what that was. Panther's out back repairing. Back into the repair station. The double mortar half tracks. So much idle time from it. It's just so much. But here we go. Got the Tiger coming in. There's still a huge area of the map where the Tiger can operate. Like this. Yeah, what is this down here? We've got more fuel down here. Mortar pit does go down though. guessing that was to some barrages. Just finally recapping the bottom, but they've actually brought it back to almost level pegging. They were about 250 points up, and now it's basically even at this stage. Oh no, recon plane plus precision barrage. Pack goes out the back. It's not too bad, there's only one pack. So of course you can, in these situations, start attacking their base. It's very risky on Vaux Farmlands though, because it's such a big map. It looks like this could be a bit of a nasty push. I think they're going for the OKW tech truck, which is already weakened. Panther's still out back repairing. The pack getting roasted. Should not be sitting down to attack when you're already that low in health. It's going to get decrewed immediately. Clear off the cache down here. Another Tiger coming in from the side. 17 pounders facing the wrong direction at this stage. Panther's coming in. Need to be coordinating the mortar flames. If you know this, the 17 pounders here, I guess you do because it has shot. That should be the mortar target at this stage. Try force that into brace so it can't assist in the tank fight. There you go, the Grenadiers, the KV-8's doing big damage, and the frag bombs come down, but it's already, well, brace is happening now. This is a firing line. 17 pounder combining up with the SU-85s, huge damage onto these Axis tanks. Did drop down the artillery there from the Panther as well. But the Beauforts at least does fall. There's a huge amount of repairs required now. Third Panther for VHSmonster, just going to have the pop cap room for it. But looks like it might be right on the edge of the range. Oh, and coming in here with the Panther now. Oh no. Sitting in front of all these tank destroyers. And it goes down. Water half track's quite low as well. So yeah, in that situation, probably want to be, if you're trying to make a move with your tanks, you want the 17 pounder to be braced, right? VHSmonster just loses the squad. That slow fight down there. So you want to force that into brace with the flame barrage. Then your tanks can just quite easily clean up the Beauforts if they're not being fired at in return. If the 17 pounder's not firing, you know, triple Panthers and a Tiger should very easily kill two SU-85s, especially because in this case the Allies have just about no mines anywhere. Do have a couple of peer spots though. But the Axis draining out here. And 4 to support for across the Pacific. Kills himself with the the demo charge there. Recon plane shot down real fast, as I was saying, like Beauforts, triple Beauforts. It's not going to last long in these situations.
Sappers back to full strength.
Beauforts, you know, anti-air used to be a complete joke. Now it's respectable. Just almost not be able to kill a plane. Looks like a move for the south by Holy. He's coming down, he's crushing all the trees on the way down, so should be quite audible to the Axis that this is happening if they're crushing through this much terrain. Try to make a move into the center with the smoke, which is a decent idea, but KVH there, and a bit of attack ground from the Beauforts working as well. Tide coming in, 17 pounder. Does have an angle through the Beauforts. Got to get out of there with the Tiger now, otherwise it's just going to be feeding vet.
An emplacement is being attacked.
Oh. Oh, it takes one more shot on the exit. Force coming in now to try and clean things up. We've got a Panther back here as well. Goes for a ram on the half track. Tiger's getting stuck back here. Looks like he's trying to back away, but he needs to be driving forwards. Ran in there with the pyros trying to repair the Tiger, I think, and that is going to do it. The Axis defeated. Didn't see what happened, but it looks like one of the Panthers died somewhere else as well. Did I completely miss that? Ouch. So yeah, typically, you know, the mortar half tracks are the way to go against emplacements. The incendiary barrage is very potent. I believe they might even have like a target table bonus against emplacements. I think they might do like 50% more damage or something. But the problem was, you know, that the focus was very scattered. You know, initially, they got this Beaufort down to very low, but then switched over to this one before it died. A lot of downtime on the indirect fire as well. Like they'd do a barrage and then they'd be sitting there for like 2 minutes before the next barrage, which you can't really give the Brit player that much breathing room to get the repairs going. Sometimes, or quite often as well, the Axis wouldn't react in time. They'd be getting barraged in return and wouldn't dodge at all. I think we saw 2 mortar half tracks die to that. The ISG got destroyed, and ISGs, you know, once the mortar pits get their heavy barrages, it's not as effective as a counter. Maybe should switch to the walking Stuka at that stage. Because, yeah, as I kept saying, its flame barrage also very strong against this. Target these wood assemblies if possible. You know, they can't brace. That may be a better target for the frag bombs. You like line up the frag bombs right along the emplacements, especially if they've been, you know, advanced with the repairs. That can be a good option. And yeah, it just gave the Allies way too much breathing room, especially at the start. You know, the Allies had a couple of emplacements, 2 machine guns, 2 engineers, like 3 conscripts, 1 combat engineer, and that was it. Then they started building fuel caches and resist trucks out the back, and it was largely because of the poor light vehicle handling of the Axis that they were able to get away with that. 222 taking engine crits constantly. Should have considered a second 222 as well to really just keep things rolling. And that looks did almost nothing. I think it got constructed like at a reasonable timing, but didn't do any damage until 12.5 minutes, I think it was. Way too much downtime just in general from the Axis. Need to sharpen up the control, maybe start making use of the tactical map more. Seem to be like quite often units out the back forgotten about. Tactical map is like, that's one of the major benefits of it. And I think it's still quite helpful, you know, in 4v4s it can maybe get a bit messy because there's just so much, and you know, the map still takes up the same amount of size on your screen, so it can be hard to select units and stuff. But I think in 2v2s still there's quite a lot of value. But yeah, just you know, maybe the right idea from the Axis, but not the right execution, and that's how it can go. Sometimes you still have to execute correctly. As I said with that earlier push there, target the 17 pounder, so they have to brace with it instead of the Beauforts, because the tanks could kill that instead. And yeah, a bit of a scattered approach as well, especially if you're struggling a bit with micro. you know, trying to attack here and attack here at the same time. It's a bit much. Try and make a more focused effort maybe on the one area and then sweep up once you've got results down here. But yeah, just a few things to work on there. VHSmonster as well. Like that's a lot of float throughout the entire match. I think could have called in a King Tiger right at the end here, but I guess the Axis were just feeling too down in the dumps about things. But yeah, you got to act fast on these emplacements, you know, like if you let them dig in, it can be pretty hard to dislodge sometimes. But there were plenty of opportunities this game to punish it much harder. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.